Welcome to the Healing with Love Summit. Step into a world where we choose to move with kindness, love, and acceptance for our neighbors on this planet, no matter their perceived differences. Choose to listen with an open heart. Choose to come from a place of learning and sharing. Welcome. Welcome to the Healing with Love Summit. My name is Larissa Russell of Creative You Healing, and I just want to tell you a little bit about how this summit came to be, because it's not our typical summit. So a couple of months ago, I don't know where I'd been, head in the sand. I live in Canada and I don't watch the news, so I try to get caught up every so often on things that are going on. And as I was getting caught up, there was a lot going on in the States about the transgender healthcare. And there was a lot of anger and a lot of laws being passed. And it's still going on. It's been going on for a long time, but there was a lot going on that week. And I had a little meltdown because it's just like, why do we have to make things so difficult for people? Why? And from that, I did a little meltdown on Facebook, on my own personal page, because I just felt the need to talk about it and share how upset I was, because there's just so much hate in the world. There's, what religion people believe in, or as I call it, what book they believe in, and what color their skin is, where they live in the world, who they love, what they call themselves, how they think, how they move in the world. And there's just so much hate around that. And so I wrote an email to my email list, and I left it till the next day. I didn't send it right away because I wanted some time to think about it, because it's like, it was just about, can we just be kind to one another? Can we just come from a place of love and not hate people because of who they are? And, I do healing work. So I did not expect the response I got. I should have, I guess. Now, let me just preface this by saying the majority of the response was very good. However, over 200 people unsubscribed from my list. I'm totally okay with that. They're obviously in the wrong place, and that's fine. But there was about 10 people, very small number in the percentage of people I have on my list, very small number. However, it got me thinking. So I had about 10 people who felt the need to respond. And not all of them unsubscribed, which I found interesting. So I unsubscribed for them because, I didn't want them to be in the wrong place. They obviously didn't want to be here. I also let them know that I had unsubscribed them and sent them a very loving message back in return, because I was not going to address hate with more hate. But I was very surprised at the messages I got. The how dare I, okay, and here's the interesting thing. I never said anything negative about any individuals, any organizations, anything like that. I just asked for us all to come from a place of love. In fact, I might even post the email just so you can have an understanding of where I was coming from. I got, how dare I? I got, in one of those how dare I's was, how dare I use this platform for this kind of messaging? Okay, back up a moment. This platform is my business. And I'm asking you to come from a place of love And how dare I do that? Excuse me? Some responses told me that they were coming from a place of love, and that a lot of people got hung up on the gay part of it, not so much the color, the religion. The gay part was a big part of it. And one person said, I did come from a place of love, or I am coming from a place of love. People who, gay people are, I can't remember the exact word, something to the effect of being an abomination, and went on with all sorts of other ugly things. And so, like I said, I responded to every single one and let them know, positive and negative. I responded to every single one and let them know that, I was saddened by their response, understood it, sorry to see them go, but totally understood that I was not the place, my platform was not the place for them. And it got me thinking. We talk often about wanting to do something about what's happening, but we don't. We think somebody else is going to take care of it. And I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about me, but as a people, we often think, well, somebody else will take care of that. And as I was having conversations with friends about it, it got me thinking about the fact that I can do something about this. I have a voice, and I want to use that voice to, I don't know that I'm going to change other people's minds per se, but maybe give people something to think about. Just allow people to come from a place of love. And you'll see in some of the interviews, we talk about things, for instance, most people think they're coming from a place of love, or they're coming from their version of love. And so I'm not trying to inflict my idea of love on other people. I think what I'm trying to do with this summit is to get people to maybe be more aware of the impact of what they say and do, to be more aware of their part in it. And I know it can be really difficult to think that we're part of the problem, but we're human and we don't do things perfectly. And who knows what perfect is anyway, really, but that's debatable. So we have to do the best we can. And I really would like us to come from a place of kindness, not kindness to our own detriment. And some of the interviews we talk about that, but kindness as in we don't inflict hurt on someone else intentionally. And sometimes we may need to if we're protecting ourselves. That's a little different. But if someone is moving through the world, has nothing to do with us personally, we do not need to inflict harm on them. So that is how this summit was born. And it went through a few changes of idea. And we landed here on the Healing with Love Summit, where I've brought together a diverse group of people to talk about love. And I'm sharing the labels that they are comfortable sharing, because we often will not be as loving towards people of certain labels, whether it's the religion or their belief system, whether it's their sexual orientation, their gender identity, their race, neurodiversity, physical impairments. There's so many different things we can label people with. And we tend to not be very loving towards people who are different than us, or not even, maybe it's not even loving. We are not very understanding of people that may have differences. So I've asked all of our speakers to share their labels, all the ones that they're comfortable with, so that I can keep that conversation, or hold that conversation about how different we all are and how much alike we all are. So we label people with these different labels to show how different we are. And ultimately, we're all the same. We all want to be loved. We all want to be happy. We all want freedom of choice and expression. We all want to feel safe. There's so many things that we're similar in. And according to science, 99%, I think it's 99 point something percent of our DNA is exactly the same. So that uniqueness of each individual is a point whatever percent. And yet we want to judge people based on the differences, but not necessarily accept people based on our connectedness, our sameness. And so I wanted to just have those conversations. So that's why we're here. And because the conversations can be a little bit difficult and the conversations can be uncomfortable, I'm including some healing practices that you can do after each session, after the summit, as needed, because I think it's really important. If you want to go deeper, there's going to be some for that. If you want to just explore your thoughts and feelings, if you want to do some healing work, so there'll be different exercises for you to do. And I hope that it allows you to open up, be aware of your part, and move through the world in a kinder, more loving way. And I'm not saying you're not kind and loving. I don't know you. Maybe I do. I'm just saying we can all add to that. No one's perfect. I have conversations with a few of our speakers about judgment. And we often will judge people because it's our human nature. We need to judge people. We need to know that we're in a safe space. But once we are in a safe space, sitting back and allowing ourselves to reflect and re-examine that judgment and what it means. So I'm going to leave it at that. Again, I'm Larissa Russell of Creative You Healing, and welcome. And I'm so glad you're here. And I hope that you get something out of this summit. I hope that you find one nugget at the minimum, but I hope, and I'm sure, that you will find much more tidbits, practices, information, and understanding. Maybe it's just the understanding of being around like-minded people. Maybe it's I never thought about it that way. Maybe it's that healing practice. Whatever it is, I am sending you love. I'm so grateful you're here. And I can't wait for you to experience this whole summit. Welcome. Thank you for watching this interview. This interview was part of our Healing with Love Summit, which includes healing practices with each interview. If you're interested in learning more or purchasing the full summit with interviews and healing exercises, click the link below. Remember that it is a choice how we move through this world. Choose love. Love heals.